Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made this blanket that I'm calling the Leopard Baby Blanket. So let's get into it. I'm using the Caron Simply Soft yarn in the colors black, red, and white. It is 100% acrylic weight 4 or worsted weight yarn, and I used a 5.5mm hook based on the gauge that I did before I took the video. I used up about 2 skeins of yarn for each color, and in the end I pretty much used up most of it, so that worked out well for me. The stitch I'm using up for this blanket is called the extended half double crochet. So you basically do a regular half double crochet where you yarn over, you insert your hook, you yarn over and pull up a loop. But the only difference is that after the first time you pull up a loop, you do another yarn over, you pull through one loop, you do another yarn over, and then you pull through the remaining 3 loops. I know that's a little bit confusing, so if you just search up extended half double crochet, you're gonna see a lot of great tutorials on YouTube that shows you how to do it step by step. To alternate the colors, there wasn't a specific color that I followed, but I did use a pattern generator and it gave me different variations, and I just picked the one that I liked. I'm going to add on the screen how many rows I did per color just to give you guys an idea of what I did. To avoid weaving in a million ends, when I was done with a specific color, I would just cut it off, chain 1, and then when I'm moving on to the next row, I would just crochet over that remaining end. You might be wondering why I'm calling this blanket a leopard blanket, since the red, black, and white don't really resemble the colors of the leopard, but there's actually a cultural significance behind it. My husband is Nigerian, and I'm married into an Igbo family, and in Igbo culture, this leopard hat, or what they call the opuagu, is actually a significant and symbolic hat. It is usually crocheted or knitted, and it features a pattern of black, red, and white stripes, which are meant to be an abstract representation of a leopard's spots. The leopard is a powerful symbol in Igbo culture, representing strength, courage, bravery, and royalty, and these hats are often worn by warriors, chiefs, and men of high social standing. The color black is meant to represent strength and authority, while red is a color associated with honor and respect. Lastly, white represents purity, peace, and spiritual clarity. My sister-in-law came to me with the idea of making a blanket with these colors for her thesis, where she explores the history and traditions of Igbo art. A full-size blanket was a little too daunting for me to make at that time, since I had a lot of other things going on, so I proposed doing a baby blanket instead, and she was on board with the idea. I also like the idea of making a baby blanket since my husband is Nigerian and I'm Filipino. We're going to have mixed race children, and I think it's very important for them to embrace both of these cultures, so I'm excited that I could be part of something like this and also include the future generation into it. I also underestimated how long this blanket would take me, so it was definitely a rush to the finish to make sure that I finished it just in time for my sister-in-law's thesis exhibit. I'm also really glad that I went with doing extended half double crochets instead of the moss stitch that I was originally planning to do, because that just worked it up so much faster, and if I did the moss stitch like I wanted to do, it would have taken me twice as long to finish this blanket. I thought this stitch had a really good drape, and it made sure that the blanket was loose and flowy and not so tight, which is perfect for babies. I'm also glad that I chose Caron Simply Soft as my yarn of choice for this blanket, because it's actually really soft. In the past, when I would see this yarn in store, I tend to avoid it because it looked shiny and I just didn't think it would be nice for projects, but I thought it was perfect for this baby blanket. It is really soft. Making sure that I remembered to take videos every time I finished a specific row of color was also very tricky, And if I didn't have to videotape it, then I feel like I would have finished this blanket much faster, but I'm glad I documented the process and I get to watch it back or even follow this tutorial but using different colors in the future. I wish I had a video that showed my sister-in-law's reaction when I gave her the finished product, but I'm happy to say that she loved it and she was able to include it in her exhibit, which I'm really proud of. This blanket was definitely a labor of love, but I'm glad I did it and I'm excited to be able to use this with my future kids. Weaving in the ends is definitely my least favorite part of every crochet project, but we made it. Here's the finished product in its entirety. I didn't have enough time to do a border, so I just left it as is. I hope you enjoyed this video and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below and I'll see you next time.